I was saying, Perry, that the problem is not the technology,
Hmm.
as in the problem is not the LLM. The
Hmm.
problem is what people are trying to do with LLMs and
Correct.
what they're claiming about LLMs,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
LLMs were created to be generative, which
Yep.
means create content that did not exist before, right? And
Yes.
when you're doing creative work, even just with text, right? You want to create a new piece of literature, of fantasy, of whatever, it is ideal for that because
Yes.
it make up stuff that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yep.
Trying to
Yep.
use an LLM for factual
Yes.
creation, then you're going to have a problem
Hmm.
because the machine itself is fundamentally a statistical machine that predicts the next token, right? And therefore, if it looks for all the patterns from all the data that it has seen and it cannot find a match, it
Hmm.
never comes up with an empty token. So it
Yes.
has to create one. And that's what we call technically a hallucination.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's not a bug in the technology. It's actually a feature. It is a feature.
Yep.
So,
100%.
but don't try to use LLMs for doing factual reasoning because it was not designed for that. The problem is we created something called LLMs. It did exactly what it was created for, but suddenly we thought, oh, if we throw more data at it, maybe it could do everything else,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's what the problem is. The fundamental problem, Perry, if you want to really summarize it to its core,
Hmm.
it's an issue of grounding,
Yes.
right? An LLM
It's more
grounds its
grounded.
creation on the patterns of the data it has seen during its training,
Yep.
right? If you're trying to create something that is factual, a
Yeah.
scientific research paper or a factual historical paper or what have you, right? You need to ground it not on the training, but
Hmm.
on reality.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, so that's why, for example, what we do at 6AI is we go and we use the Socratic process of questioning so that whatever we come up with later on is not just conjecture, right? This is the difference between somebody who just graduated from the war college and he studied all the military strategy books, but he's never seen combat, right? Right? And somebody who's never studied strategy but has had 15 years of combat. One is grounded in theory. That's the guy who just got out of the war college. And he's going to speak eloquently and things will
Yes.
look impressive and sound impressive. But the other, he comes from the school of hard knocks. He's been there. He knows, he's seeing what goes wrong. He's seeing how the best plans shift just because the weather shifts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or just
You
because
know,
you were expecting something and it didn't happen. And
yeah.
that's really what the difference here is. And if we're going to continue to deliver value, we need to make sure we put in mechanisms that ground the whole process and especially the outcome, not on conjecture or some best practice or in theory this should work, but on the reality of the context of this
Yeah.
specific user and their conditions.
Yep. Yep. Sorry, Hatim, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say for me, I'm being much more pragmatic. I'm seeing at what people are saying using the 6AI
Yeah.
tool. And
Yeah.
that for me, that's the bottom line. It's been about war, exactly that. It's like, you're in combat. I use ChatGPT when I need, to write something fancy and everything. But it's different when someone is in a business, which is what we experience time and time again, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is very, very good feedback that I'm getting. Like it's very pointed to my business." So for me, the more of that we have, the more, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, we have to be pragmatic and say, hey, this is a tool that works,
Yep.
that, our clients like, and they
Yep.
get value from.
Yep.
Like I was telling you, at the platform foundation level,
Yes.
we can literally call any tool that has APIs,
Yep.
which means 6AI today can generate what you've highlighted in
Yep.
yellow,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And we can take that as an input to Canva and call Canva API with that as an input, let it generate the actual visual, the logos and stuff,
Yep.
and then send it back to the user.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
we create these specific vertical applications for a specific sector, right?
Yep.
Where
Yep.
we're able to integrate with the tool set that they already use
Yes.
to create
Yep.
whatever outcome they want,
Yep.
right?
That is huge. That's huge. This should be in our marketing, because because people are going to ask us. That's the
Yep.
differentiating factor.
Yes. Team, to your
So
point
we've
now.
been talking, Perry, we've been talking about it from the beginning.
Yes.
But what Ali just did is explaining technologically. So
Exactly.
I'm here saying, the reason why you want to go with 6AI is
Yeah.
because you are, you get market pertinent information for your business as things change and everything.
Yep.
What Ali just said is explain how behind the scene, the full stack, how does it work to do
Yes.
these things that others
Yes.
don't do? So that's what I'm
Yes.
saying, that's huge in terms of marketing, is
Yep.
explaining it technologically.
Yep. No, no. Listen, 100%. That's one of the reasons why I'm videotaping this, because this is how we get the real good stuff. But what I like also here is that, look, it's telling us, use stories in terms of how to market and position this, right? This is still AI one here. So this will literally be the free version. This is super as one user says, this is super robust. They're almost like, well, if I had this alone, it'll be great. And it was like, wow, this is going to be free. I said, AI want to be free, but it's going to be free, but you're going to want the paid version. If I had to hire a consultant to get all the data, get all the information, and then say, okay, this makes sense, that makes sense, here's how you sell it, here's the archetype 1, archetype 2, archetype 3, here's the rollout plan, all this stuff. This took me 20 minutes, right? It took me 20 minutes. And you would pay a consultant tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to do this. But then it says, 6AI says, this is the kind of energy that changes industries. Thank you for letting me thank you for letting me partner on this. And this is the whole thing of why our tagline on our website is your strategy partner, because 6AI is your partner, right? But the intuitive nature of this of the software is it can, it's like it's feeling my energy. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not crazy. I'm just giving you my how I felt, okay? And how any other person. It's like it's feeling my energy, right? Because it's saying, and then it says, "Thank you for letting me be your partner on this." And then it says this, and I didn't ask for any of this. Then it says this: you've now got a razor sharp problem statement that cuts through the noise, a manifesto script that turns features into a movement. Okay, one of the people that are using this said to me, Perry, you got to make this a movement. You have to make this counter movement to Chat GPT. Why I'm saying this is because what people are saying who are using our product, the software is illustrating this too. So its connection to the real world, right, is very important as opposed to the theoretical nature of large language models. And then it talks about visuals. And anyways, it gives me a whole bunch of steps. It gives me step by step to step I have to break through. But then it says, I'm here. Until then, go make strategists everywhere wonder how they ever settled for good enough because your system just wrote the rules. Okay, I mean, like, okay, like this thing is, now I'm sounding excited, but what's important here is how the product makes you feel.
Yep.
Okay, that
And,
is
and,
super
and
important.
Perry, that is the most rewarding thing for me
Yes,
is to hear you and hear other users say that this thing gets me, this fills my energy, because that was my biggest challenge from the beginning.
yes,
My biggest challenge from the beginning is not doing the code or the basic architecture and all of that stuff.
yeah,
The challenge is how the hell do we inject any semblance of empathy into this dry machinery,
yes,
right? And as you know, it took us a while. It's not the first iteration and we got it right, right? And to me, that's the triumphant moment is that when the human on the other side validates that I don't feel that this thing doesn't get me. I don't feel that this thing is condescending, right? I don't feel that I'm being pushed into a certain point of view or a way of thinking. That to me is really a powerful statement that we've built what you have envisioned.
yeah,
And to me,
exactly.
there is
Yeah.
no higher satisfaction than that, Barry. Seriously.
So we'll take a note here. No, and this is why I've been testing it and I've been doing things and I've been getting feedback from people. The feedback I showed you the other day, this person said 6AI is going to be a household name. It's everybody's like, it's great. And I'm reading the emotion that people have. And I'm even, my son's using it and he has a business idea that he wants to do and he's working on, some certain things. And this thing allows him to sit and build ideas. Some people who are doing PhD research have gotten back to me and said that this is really a great research tool because it allows me to put in my thoughts, my ideas, in terms of what I want to do, and it'll be able to reference it and find the research to see, hey, this what am I saying makes sense? Is there references? You're doing a PhD or whatever. Are there references that might support what I'm saying? And then it'll find it, show it to them, and the person can keep building and building. As opposed to you may have to go read tons of articles, right? Tons of articles in order to come up with that concept. Or if you try to use ChatGPT for college level, PhD level research, you're going to get screwed because it just makes stuff up. With this here, right, it allows you to build and build and build and check off against real, reference, real references and things like that. Here's the kicker, what I believe. Large language models, hallucination, and all the top scientists say that hallucination, because of how LLMs have been designed, at least for now, can't be solved. With 6AI, because of how it's built, hallucination doesn't come into the picture, okay? Because how it's built, it's not built, as you said, Ali, before, right? Battle tested, it's built on evidence. The mathematics of it, in terms of formal applied intelligence, that's been my whole concept of applied intelligence. It's formal logic, right?
But what did I tell you from the beginning?
Yeah,
I told you that the hardest nut to crack
yeah,
is actually step one,
yes, yeah,
because the rest of it actually is going to be much easier
yeah,
conceptually, right?
correct. Yeah,
Because we're going to be building on the same framework, but we're going to be doing things that actually start enriching the quality of the deliverable, right?
Correct, correct,
Both
correct,
in terms of
correct.
research, adding in, uploading your own internal data, doing all these classical strategy tools, whether it's doing SWOT analysis, this is Potter, this, that, doing the whole canvas, right? And then populating it. But now you're not just populating it with blob, you're populating it with sound stuff. That's number one. And the
Mhm.
number two thing is because you force the user to actually tango with you through the journey. It's theirs. So when they look at the canvas, it's not like, I can't remember why, what's this. They have a visceral sense. That's one. And the second thing, they have an ownership of the outcome of this exercise, right?
100%
And
ownership. That's
the way they're going to be
100%.
presented to their team, to their executives, to their stakeholders is with confidence
Yep,
because
Yeah.
not only they understand it, but they've been participants in creating this, right?
yep, yep,
And
yep.
that's a huge, that's a categorical difference. Even if ChatGPT didn't hallucinate and it
Yep.
just generates by accident the best strategy for you, you wouldn't even be able to defend it in front of your
Of course
stakeholders
not.
because you have no clue how you came up with that strategy.
No,
Because you
of
did,
course not.
ChatGPT came up with it, right?
No, no, no. 110%. So I'm going to just go quickly here, right? Just based on what you just said, Al, you reminded me of something. I shared my screen again. So for example, AI1, this is AI1, right? Now, this is, of course, is the hardest part. It's so robust and people are going to get that. But I don't want to make it sound like it's going to be easy, but number two, framing the strategic question, insight, targeting. These are all the features now that we are building to that we're adding on. So it's not like we already have the architecture, we already have the main thing. So all these things are, if you want to call them all these other steps, these are all features to solving the problem and making it better and building a strategy. So one of the key things here is number four, finding objective truth, data information, quality control. This is
Yep,
this quality control here is for me so important because even though our system is built, not to hallucinate or whatnot, right? This quality control here is like a double checker on ourselves, right?
absolutely. The good news, Perry,
Mm-hmm.
is with the architecture we have,
Mm-hmm.
we built in checks and balances
Mm-hmm.
across every bit of this system.
Exactly. Checks and
The nice
balances.
thing is this will do it at the macro level
Yes.
to see does this thing hold together.
Yes. Yep.
And that's so powerful because suddenly now you don't just have something that generates stuff that sounds impressive,
Yeah.
but you've got the mechanisms for actually checking and validating that what the outcome you have
Mm.
actually makes sense, is grounded
Correct.
in reality of the
Correct.
context you've defined, in the data that you have provided, in the
Yeah.
research that
Yeah.
was done, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, right? The thing is, I'm gonna stop sharing again. The thing is, use a very important word. We have both the micro and the macro. Okay,
Exactly.
it's very important because if you only had one, the micro, you may miss things in the macro, right?
You'll have a bunch of correct facts,
Yes,
they're strung together the wrong way.
correct, correct. And